Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Strange Tales Weapon of Vengeance. I did not know that's what he was called when he was like this, but it's kind of a cool name, and don't listen to the packaging. There are no tails on any of these figures except for Blackheart, so it's like, who are they advertising this to? Okay, that one didn't land. I didn't sleep last night, so you're probably going to get worse jokes than normal, but you're going to have to live with it. So anyway, this figure is a very interesting figure, and it has almost nothing to do with the figure, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we look at the figure, let's look at my package. The Strange Tales packaging is fine. It's got the green swirly in the back, and it's okay. The Strange Tales thing, are you guys into this wave? To me, it's like the least interesting wave ever. I don't know how popular these characters are. Like, okay, Moon Knight, sure. I don't know. I don't know any of these characters being particularly interesting. We've already gotten like 4 of this guy at this point. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But the packaging is okay. The artwork's pretty cool. I'll take it. Except you can't really see his claws. Well, you can on the back, I guess, and on this side. Not that side. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so the reason I said this guy was interesting, by the way, he's in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. And I'll measure him before I forget. About 5 3/4, just a touch more than that. And that's going to put him at 15 centimeters, not counting his flamey ears. So the reason this is interesting is when they put this up for pre-order, I said, get it before it sells out. The selling out part was a joke, but it is... people love to tell me I just hate Marvel Legends. I don't at all. This figure is not in a lot of ways a very... There's a little net. This figure is in a lot of ways a very bad figure, but it's still freaking cool. And you know what? People keep saying, oh, this is a lame design for Wolverine or Ghost Rider or whatever you want to call it. I don't think so. How is it not cool to have a flaming Wolverine? I think that's freaking awesome, and I don't care what all of you Hasbro haters have to say about it. I wanted this figure, and I enjoy this figure. But it's also not a very good figure. See how you can do that? You don't need to have the cognitive dissonance, guys. It's okay to like bad things sometimes, or maybe it's not all the way bad. In fact, there's some good stuff about it, so let's go ahead and get into that. The body, I've seen some people reuse for that older man Wolverine Logan figure that came out. They took the head from that and put it on this. The body's not bad. The colors don't match here perfectly, but it's better in person than on camera. And he's got a nice matte finish on the brown and the yellow or tan, whatever you want to call it. I don't like these arms. I don't like these shoulders at all. But it's still kind of good looking. Like, as far as reusing this crappy mold, I mean, part of it's not. The legs are great. It's not bad. It's not bad. Have people made better customs? Sure. But for Hasbro, this is better than most. I think it's so weird how the Hasbro people, the fans of Hasbro, the Hasbros, don't seem to base their opinions on anything that's reliably consistent at all. It seems to be almost exclusively based on the characters and what Hasbro tells them to think. This figure is better executed than most things Hasbro puts out for Marvel Legends. The claws, for instance, let's look at these, because we're doing the aesthetic anyway. These flame claws are pretty dang well done. Are they perfect? No, but the claws are actually pretty darn straight, and the flames are coming off of them, and the different colors, it looks good. Like, these claws turned out surprisingly well. Turned out good. They were well done. I don't think turned out, we're using the verb in that way. Anyway, they look good. The skull, for instance, that looks good. The silver they used is nice and shiny. The teeth are well done. Do the flames look a little bit like clown hair sticking off the sides of his head? Kind of. But also, it looks good for, I mean, being a cheap, crappy figure, it looks pretty good. If you're okay with most of the Marvel Legends that come out, there's no reason for you to not be okay with this in terms of the actual quality. If you don't like the character, fine, who gives a crap? Our opinions on which characters we like have nothing to do with the figures and whether or not they're good. So I don't get it. I don't understand how the Hasbros are deciding what's good or what's not. Because this one, it's not an impressive figure. It's reusing a lot of old parts, but some of the things on it are impressive. The paint execution is pretty darn good. It's like, it's definitely a perfectly acceptable Marvel Legends with a few cool features. So saying it's bad just because it doesn't have a design you like is just weird to me. And that's not how reviews work. So I'm going to tell you, I think it's a cool design. It has some really nice features, but the mold it's using is not particularly good. You have to decide which of those things is important to you. For Marvel Legends, though, aesthetically, it's an 8. It looks way better than most of the figures they release. The matte finish is nice. The different transparent plastics are nice. They did a pretty darn good job. The skull is really well done. It's well executed. Alright, for accessories, you just get the 2 fist hands and the 2 claw hands. That's it. That's really lame. 5 out of 10, that's not good. Now, as far as articulation goes, it's going to be the same as before, but I'll do it anyway. People like to say this weird neck situation is so that he can lean his head up, he can look up. The way they've done it, though, on this particular release, come on, get back on there. He can't go that far up. It's fine, though. Like, if you crunch him forward, it's okay. But you don't need that weird, gigantic neck area for that to be the case. So, yeah, he can do that. He can look down really far. I think they really need to get rid of this whole situation here. The later Wolverine bodies are much better, if you ask me. But the butterfly joint still functions. Like, this guy's gonna be able to pose. I'll show you at the end. He can do some cool, iconic poses. That's fine. The shoulder's fine. Little ugly shoulder. Hate that, but whatever. It's functional as far as the articulation goes. Aesthetically, these shoulders are just the worst. They're so bad. And he's got his bubbly arms. This is not the best Wolverine at all. Don't get me wrong. But the new stuff they've done and the execution of what they had to apply to this mold is done well enough. The wrists, of course, have a swivel and a hinge, so that's fine. Ab crunch on this guy. He leans back a little bit. He leans forward all the way. That's what it is. This is a very old body at this point. The waist twist is fine. The hips work nicely on this mold, by the way. They do go back. Out to the side, not as good as they should be at all. But they do go forward at least, so I like that. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knees. That's good. Boot rotation, that's good. Ankle rocker or ankle hinge is fine. Should go a little farther forward. Ankle rocker is fine. We've seen this before. It's a decent body in terms of functionality. The aesthetics are not good on the torso and arms. So articulation-wise, though, it's a 7. It'll be posable. And for the final verdict, it might not be a popular character. I personally don't get it. Maybe the stories suck. I don't know. But I think it's a really cool concept. I like it a whole bunch. And I enjoy the look of the figure despite the shortcomings. It does have the shortcomings, though. But it's not like it's a garbage figure. For Hasbro, it's at least as good as the average. I'm going to give it a... I want to say like 7.5 because I still hate this. If we're just counting what they've done new, the claws and head are pretty darn good. The paint job is really nice, but these arms and this whole situation is still pretty ugly. So I'll go 7.5, but I would really like to go 8. It's a shame they used the crappy body. I don't care about the pins at all, but this part sucks a lot. So yeah, it's at least as good as your average Marvel Legends, and I think you're going to find some good. I think they really nailed how they did the claws. That's good. That's pretty darn good. They're the straightest claws I've gotten on a Wolverine figure. It's cheating, I know. So yeah, it's just a weird one. Like, everybody hated this when they announced it. It's like they released so many worse figures than this, and nobody hates those at all. So I don't get it. But that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that, and in the meantime, keep collecting.